What's going on, y'all? I'm here to talk about the really cool buffs and changes I've made for Hariyama in my ROM hack, Pokemon Scrambled Scarlet. So if you've never heard of this before and you're a new viewer, stay tuned. I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro and then, you can learn as you go. But as for returning viewers, I do appreciate you guys coming back and watching all these videos. And I also appreciate you sitting through the little, minute or so intros for every video. But yeah, for new viewers, first of all, welcome to my channel. Appreciate you clicking on the video. If you guys are new here, make sure you leave a comment. That'd be cool. I'd like to know who's new and who's returning. Helps the algorithm and all that good stuff. So when you're done with the video, you can check out all my other ones in the description link down below. However, what's most important for you if you are new is to pause the video and read the description. I've got like bullet points that'll explain more in depth how the ROM hack works, and it'll basically answer a lot of the questions that you might have just about general balancing and all this other stuff. So definitely do give that a read if you're new. And with that all being said, Hariyama, yeah. So this guy can hold a Violite now. However, I actually balanced his abilities so that way, 2 out of 3 of them, basically make not running a Violite worth it, right? Because his actual stats alone are already really good. He's already very tanky. 144, 74, 64 is very, very tanky overall. Despite the middling defenses, the HP is so high that it all kind of counteracts itself. But Appetite is an incredible ability, very fitting for a sumo wrestler. As they eat and stuff to stockpile their weight, and then obviously they keep Guts, and both of those require either a Berry or a Flame Orb to activate, right, or a Toxic Orb. But that basically means that you can use a Violite Hariyama. Plenty of boss fights, will require the extra bulk or whatever if you need it. It just means that you can't get the attack boost from Guts or the utility of Appetite if you're using a Violite. So it kind of balances out. Of course, just a raw bulk is more, just straight up like a Violite, Drain Punch type shit, that, or, basic, priority moves, fake out, all that crap, slack off, all this other stuff is obviously very, very strong with a Violite, regardless of anything else. However, other items are also very worth running on this guy. So simple thing, obviously the berries are very, very good. Appetite is incredibly versatile. Not only does it give you healing, it can also give you like a Key Berry or a Moringa Berry boost, which is actually more than a Violite, although the downside is it can be crit through. So for example, you switch in your Hariyama on like a resisted special attack or any special attack, and you run an Appetite Key Berry, you get +2 defense, or excuse me, Moringa Berry, you get +2 special defense. And then, of course, the same thing for Key Berry. So that's incredible. That's much bulkier than a Violite on one side. So if you need to specifically 1v1 a physical or special attacker, that's, where you would want to do. However, again, it is risky because you can be crit through those boosts. Simple things like, well, I get them reversal super early on. So 38 base speed is low. I did lower it because I don't want them to go super, super crazy with Appetite, Berry, but it is very good, and they also get Engorge at level 100, which is an exclusive move. Basically, don't use that on, it's supposed to be illegal for Iron Hands. So yes, this does optionally involve an Iron Hands. So you can check out that video after this one. It'll be out 15 minutes after this one, so you can finish this one and then check out the Iron Hands video. But I'm flashing the changes on screen right now, so you can take a brief look at how he works. So the main thing is that you would be trading off for power. However, this guy has Guts, right? So he actually can do more damage than Iron Hands can. It's just, obviously he's less bulky, and he's also taking some chip damage, all that stuff. He can't run a Violite with Guts, so all that stuff is kind of balanced intentionally. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. The fact that like 2 of his abilities force you to experiment with things that aren't a Violite, because of course even things like Quick Claw in this ROM hack are incredibly good, especially on slower tanky Pokemon. Of course there is item claws in this game, but as you see on screen, Quick Claw is a single use consumable item, so that's incredible. You can also take advantage of some other cheesy stuff like, I don't know, Endure Slack reversal with 38 base speed might seem pretty underwhelming, but if you get a neutral speed nature, and you're outspeeding a decent amount of mons. You're hitting 328, which is very, very good still for in-game. Obviously, you're outspeeding, I think it's like, what, 100? Yeah, you're speed tying 100. That's kind of a shame. You're speed tying 100 base speed. So, and then if you get lucky and you get a plus speed, then you're going crazy. Then you're hitting 360. You're outspeeding 115, I think. Nah, 114. All right, so that's really good. That's very good. But of course, if you're not getting that plus speed nature, then it is a bit niche, but it can be useful, to outspeed specific mons. Again, because Endure Reversal is already really strong in game versus AI. It's very easy to get off. Yeah, this guy's got reliable recovery and slack off. That's obviously very good on something that's this bulky. You can kind of experiment with your movesets and run like a full offensive build, full bulky build. Thick Fat is obviously very good to switch to when you need it because it gives you 2 resistances that Iron Hands does not have. So Iron Hands, of course, has its own unique sets of, he resists electric and Steel. Well, Hariyama does not, but Hariyama resists fire and ice with thick fat, so that's really useful as well. Not to mention, he gets coverage moves for those types, of course, as a fighting type. He gets like Headlong Rush, Boulder Bash, Stone Edge, all this good stuff. Strength is, Rock type Double Edge. Yeah, so that's all super fun. Appetite, I mean, it's such a cool ability. I think I especially like it with the Key Moringa Berry on him, or just double Citrus. And then Smelling Salt is an incredibly strong tool on this guy. It's an exclusive move. Only Hariyama, Iron Hands, and Palmot get access to it. Incredibly useful. It's 80 base power priority. It's single use and it always flinches. So essentially, you can use that just to get free big damage on something. Once you get it, you're probably gonna end up using it almost every fight. Because of just how strong of a tool it is. So that's a very cool exclusive tool that both of them get access to. It's pretty late into the game. It's 56, so you could take a look at the level caps and figure out when that's actually legal for. It's a decent amount of fights still, endgame fights. Oh, I'm looking at Iron Hands again, my bad. Yeah, Battle Cry Violet is super great. Just basic, bulky Violet. I mean, he's very bulky. I believe I compared the bulk for Hariyama and a Violet Hariyama and Iron Hands himself, and I believe they're somewhat comparable because of just how much bulkier Iron Hands is now. However, the main advantage comes from the abilities and also the fact that I do know Hariyama is bulkier, by the way. It is bulkier with the Violet, but it's just not by that much. But it is by a decent margin. It's just not like insanely bulkier compared to how insanely bulky Iron Hands already is now. Has superpower is a super strong tool, of course. That's essentially physical fighting type Draco Meteor. So you can, again, that Quick Claw, right? You can send him in, take any hit, and then Quick Claw blow things up. So you have berries, you have Flame Orb, you have Quick Claw. Guts plus Smelling Salts is incredible. So you can use Fake Out as well to get a free trigger for your orb. Of course, switching in and pivoting in is the best way to get your orb to trigger because there's no Protect in this game if you're curious. Well, there is Protect, but it's very limited. If you're curious as to why that is, you can look at the move guide on the Google Sheet when you're done with this video, but I'll quickly flash it on screen if you want to give it a read. It's a lot of text that explains why Protect is limited. But yeah, superpower, very strong. Smelling Salt. So yeah, with the Guts stuff, you can run Fake Out, and then you can lead off with the Hariyama and get your Flame Orb if you click Fake Out. And then you can get a Guts boosted Smelling Salts, 80 base power Guts boosted priority move off of 120 attack is incredibly powerful, so that's really good. And then you can even use stuff like Mach Punch or Bullet Punch to finish them off. So that's all really good and fun. And yeah, tons of powerful priority on this guy. Count is obviously good on something that's this bulky. Stockpile is obviously good. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's pretty straightforward. Even simple things like Drain Punch. I did give him Swords Dance because Iron Hands gets Swords Dance, and so if Iron Hands can get it, I don't see why Hariyama shouldn't get it. Not that it's like the craziest thing. I mean, it's pretty solid with like a Violite SD plus like Smelling Salts Mach Punch type deal. Like you could probably pull that off a little bit. Of course, at the end of the game, you get Belly Drum, which is like really fucking good and really cheesy. And then Gorge is also obviously very good for the end game. That's only for about 7 boss fights, but it's still, a good amount. But yeah, the reason Engorge is at level 100 is just because I don't want Iron Hands using it because it doesn't really make sense for him to use it. He's a robot. I don't really see him eating. Which is also why I swapped Slack off for Fortify on Evolution. So anyway, both of them are the same thing. It's both recovery moves, but yeah. Pretty simple, straightforward. Heat Crash, Happy Slam, that's all really good, obviously. Play Rough I gave him because, number one, it makes more sense than Iron Hands does, and Iron Hands fucking gets it in vanilla, so therefore he also now gets Play Rough because of that, so that's pretty funny. Yeah, Brutal Bash, that's a reliable, consistent. It's better than Close Combat in a lot of ways on this guy because he is a slower tanky mon, although CC is obviously still good. Brutal Bash is the same power as CC, but instead the downside here is that you can't use it twice in a row as opposed to dropping your defenses, so pick and choose there. Payback's obviously very strong on something that's this tanky. Kind of pretty much everything. Early game, obviously, Makuhita is great up until level 30. They do follow the semi-pseudo BST convention, the same with like Fungus and Amoongus into Brute Bonnet, and all, basic pseudos like Dino into Zweilous and Hydreigon. They all go from 360, 480 to 600, so they gain 120 BST each time they evolve. So that's really cool as well. Whirlwind early on is really nice. It's a single-use priority move that's really good for Rhyme for double battles. It's very nice to be able to phase her out immediately in a double battle and just make one side of the field fuck off for a turn. That'll be huge. It can also be useful for singles to like disrupt some leads or phase some like setup mons out every once in a while. So that's cool. It's move relearner. Yeah, I've covered pretty much everything I think is super necessary to talk about. Everything else, I mean, there's still other stuff here that you can check out for yourself. You know, look at the coverage moves, look at, you know, the effects of little nitty-gritty effects of all these moves. But I've covered pretty much everything. Again, very tanky with EVIOLITE, very strong with guts, very bulky slash useful. Like Appetite is very versatile, right? It can be better than EVIOLITE in a lot of situations. Which is awesome, and then it can also be an offensive tool. You know, you can use it for Salakberry or Lychee Berry. And once you get Ungorge at level 100, it goes even crazier, right? Because then you can just, you don't even have to get into low HP to get the Pinch Berry. So you can just click Engorge plus Slack or Engorge plus Lychee, and you get +2 defenses, +1 defenses, +2 attack type shit. So that's all super good. Yeah, let me know if you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate if you did very much. Leave a comment if you made it this far, and I'll be back for more. Check out the Iron Hands one. Peace.